Hello, welcome to the Money Revelation Podcast, a podcast dedicated to giving you money revelations to ease your financial stress. My name is Brian, owner of Madeline Financial Coaching, where I am dedicated to helping stressed out couples gain control on their finances so they can live without money anxiety. I believe that each person's money journey is individualized, and there is not just one dedicated way to gain money clarity. Let's get going on this voyage as we explore money and personal topics to guide you to that set of financial dreams you have always thrived for. Thanks for being here, and I would be deeply grateful if you could like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. Hello, and welcome back to the Money Revelation Podcast. I appreciate your patience in this late posting for this episode. It has been one hell of a week, you guys. I had a crazy delay overnight at multiple airports last week, and I'm really just trying to catch up. I'm like a day and a half behind on everything. So I could tell you the whole story, but if you're following me on social media, or you know me personally, or just reach out to me, I'll tell you the whole story. It was one of the nuttiest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Anyways, I wanted to dive in today into a very taboo but necessary topic: credit and credit scores. Now, there are so many opinions on this, but I really wanted to put some input in. Well, why me, you ask, right? What the heck do you know, Brian? Just because you're a financial coach? Well, my opinion is that this is my wheelhouse. Now, while I was at my previous position for 3 years at the credit union, this is what we did, basically. This is something I mastered to an extent. You know, we built up credit from the bottoms up. People didn't know anything about it. We built their score. We taught them how to get into that next car or next house and things like that. We maximized their score as best as possible. So I got 3 straight years of that, and I just kept building my skills after that. So I think I got a pretty decent opinion on there. And there's a lot of false information out there, to be honest with you. So not just about building credit, managing credit, and the importance of credit in your lifestyle, but also the reasons in your financial life of why your credit does matter. So let's get into it. Let's get right in. So you want to know right away, Brian, right? Do I ever really need credit? The short answer is, for most people, yes. Notice I said most people. Let me explain. It really depends, in my mind, on your short and long-term goals. Let's talk why, first of all, people will need credit in their life. Many of my clients and others I've known over the years have had the dreams of a few major things. One of the 2 most popular is owning a home and having kids and family, which is highest on the list. Now you're saying, well, kids and family, what? Well, I mean, everything goes hands in hands. Eventually you need something. You can't live in an apartment your whole life with kids. Let's chat housing first. This is the most important and controversial one. I want you right now, while you're listening, to raise your hand wherever you're listening if this next question you can answer yes to. If I told you in the next 12 months you were required to move into a home, how many of you would be able to buy a home with cash, thus not taking out a mortgage? I'll wait. I would bet maybe one person listening would be able to pull this off. The rest of us, no way. It's not me being negative, it's being real. Unless you have some type of large inheritance, a huge paying job where you have a random couple $100,000 laying around that isn't in your retirement and savings, or something else crazy, we are not paying for an entire house with cash. I'm sorry. Every mortgage lender, realtor, and anyone involved in the housing industry will tell you credit is important and required. It's not just me. But Brian, I heard on this or that show how dumb it is to do this and that and take out credit, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I'm not going to encourage you to get into a mortgage you can't afford, because that's just dumb. No one's disagreeing with that. But we have to be realistic. I'm here to be raw with you. But what I am going to tell you is that without credit, and more recent credit in general, it is going to be tough when you're looking for that mortgage, because you are not paying entirely in cash. Without it, my recent client would be in a whirlwind of trouble. This is just one person that comes to mind right away. See, she stated that her and her partner, her partner hasn't really had any credit in many years. Many years. When mortgages take a look at your credit, lenders look at your credit report and say you haven't had anything really relevant in the last 5 or 10 years, and I don't see any major loans in the report. Why the heck should we loan to you? It's going to come into play. But I make a ton of money, Brian. That's all they need to see. I can easily make my payments. Well, how's it going lately for a lot of tech jobs and other jobs in companies that had to lay a bunch of people off? The fact is, your job could be done tomorrow. It could be gone. It's at will employment mostly, right? You don't always control that. And also, people that make a lot of money often do not know how to manage it properly. I'm going to tell you that. A lot of people make a ton of money, have no idea how to manage it. When you have recent payment history and have shown larger loans have been paid, such as maybe car loans, student loans, etc., lenders will begin to consider you as a stronger candidate to be loaned to. Now, when my wife and I bought our house, we had strong credit scores, and our rate at that time reflected that. See, when you have a higher credit score, it does give you a few breaks in the interest rate category as well. So yes, when you add a mortgage or want to look for one soon, credit is important. Part 2. What is a good credit score, and how the heck do I get there? So this is such a touchy question to answer because, again, it depends on goals and mentality. I can't give you one answer for every single thing, every single person, because it's not going to work for every person. So facts are pretty simple. The credit scores range from about 300 to 850. Honestly, I personally have never seen a score lower than the 400s. To be considered a good credit score, you need to be somewhere between the range of 670 to 739. That's like an A getting into an A plus credit score. Anything 740 up, A plus, it's a great credit score. You're doing something right. In the long run, it goes much deeper than just a number. Major factors are credit history, payment history, how much utilization you have and you've used, and the variety of different credits that you have. So Brian, my score is just getting started. It's really in the dumper. How do I fix this? Well, it's going to take more than a few minutes on here on a podcast, but I will gladly give you a few things to consider on here. And if you need more feedback and more help, you know where to reach me. Credit is a game. That is my go-to statement. Anyone that's worked with me or knows me knows that's my favorite statement. Credit is literally a game, y'all. It's a game that if you don't understand will defeat you every single time. Let's start with this. The more debt you have on your credit cards in various items, the more your score will be impacted. If you have maxed out your credit cards and have fancy expensive cars and more, your score is going to be lower. However, if you're able to minimize any revolving credit card debt, maybe have a home or a car, and a mixture of personal loans in the past that you've paid well on, your score can move greatly in the right direction. All of your credit and history can be tracked really easily. It's on free apps, such as Credit Karma is one of the ones I recommend. Now listen, Credit Karma is not perfect. Everybody knows that. But the point of it is just to give you free access, first of all, and it gives you a snapshot of everything you have on your report. You can view everything. It's helpful. My final quick point I want to make is a simple one that you should already really kind of know. Make your payments on time, right? A missed payment could honestly cost you anywhere to the upwards of close to 30 points per late payment. It can be absolutely detrimental to your credit. So honestly, I'm exhausted from my week. I really am. I'm already behind on this podcast posting. I apologize again. So that's where we're going to wrap up this episode. In the comments below is my website and a complimentary 30-minute call if you'd like to chat more about this topic. I love to chat about credit. It's one of my favorite things I could talk all day about. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I hope you enjoyed it. And always, stay blessed and positive.